NASCAR YouTubers. Man, what a great place to be. While NASCAR YouTubers have existed as long as YouTube has, in recent years they've become a major part of NASCAR as a whole, as there's been some major contributions as of recent that have come from NASCAR YouTubers. North Wilkesboro's road to recovery I feel like started entirely from slap shoes, and recently Erica Steep has actually been sponsoring a NASCAR team, which is honestly pretty cool. I can't really think of another sport where the influencers have such a major impact on the sport they like, which really makes NASCAR YouTubers stand out from other sports YouTube communities. But however, with every community, there's always going to be a couple bad eggs. And of course, NASCAR's no different. And I'm not necessarily talking about people with unpopular opinions like NRF. Today, we're talking about probably some of the worst NASCAR channels I have seen so far on YouTube. Because unlike people like NRF, Ultimate 23 Dragon, or Kamikaze Games, these channels don't have any opinions whatsoever. All they do is make videos for money. Yep, today we're going to be talking about the recent NASCAR clickbait channels. And boy, are they terrible. Today we're going to be taking a look at two NASCAR channels that have recently popped up, NASCAR Zone and NASCAR Off Track. Both these channels started this year, with NASCAR Zone starting in June and NASCAR Off Track starting in September. Despite their short time on YouTube, they've racked up thousands of subs and racked up a couple million views on all their videos. But once you start watching the videos, it becomes obvious that all those views and subs are just bots trying to boost the algorithm. And each of their videos rack up to 8 minutes, which is an absurdly long time. Now this could be one of two things. It could either be they got a lot to talk about, or they're just trying to pad the runtime to make as much ad revenue as possible. Take a wild guess what it is. The moment you watch one of their videos, it becomes obvious that these are clickbait channels. You know the ones, like the one that announced there's going to be a new sequel to a popular movie and it takes them 5 minutes to get to the point to say, oh, it's unconfirmed yet, but it might happen. It's not because they want to tell anything new, it's because they just want to get some ad clicks. Sure, I did this in 2020 because I was out of a job and need to make money, so I end up making up 30-second videos to get some ads on them, but at least it wasn't like this. Despite these channels being different channels, it becomes obvious that they're pretty much the exact same channel. It's just a text-to-speech voice talking about the topic, which becomes obvious is just a bunch of articles copy and paste together and sewn together with Twizzlers. It's extremely common for these videos to go completely off the rails a minute in, and spending probably half the time completely off topic, adding pointless context. So let's go ahead and start off with NASCAR Zone's most recent video. Brandon Jones fires warning to Joe Gibbs Racing. Must see.
Is Jones' warning correct? So what did Brandon Jones actually tell at the conclusion of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race?
Gee, don't you just love it when the audio levels are so terrible and the voiceover gets completely drowned out by the music behind you? I mean, I just love it when this happens. It's so fun to watch these videos. Especially when the music is royalty free. It makes me want to take some rusty kitchen scissors and shove it in my ear. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, this is basically something that Brandon Jones said to Joe Gibbs, I guess. So what did he say? My goodness, what is with the intro's audio level? Yeah, I edited it for effect, but it is insanely loud compared to the rest of the video. I mean, look at the audio track from Hit Film. Why is it so inexplicably loud? Whatever. Hearing so 2018.
Know what happened at Martinsville Speedway. Brandon Jones came very close to having his final attempt at qualifying for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship race turn into a Hail Mary moment.
What does this have to do with what Brandon Jones said? You're just explaining context in a terrible way. What Hail Mary moment? That was what Ross Chastain did, not what Brandon did.
He was in the lead going into overtime. He had a quick car that started from the pole position, and he appeared to have a friendly rival in teammate Ty Gibbs.
What? Seriously, it's obvious that this is a bot that's saying this because nobody talks like this. And he appeared to have a friendly rival with a team of Ty Gibbs? What?
By the time the checkered flag was waved, Jones had lost his lead. His fast car had become noticeably shorter, and the word teammate was being referred to in the context of air quotes.
I thought this video was talking about something Brandon said to Gibbs. What did he say? You're not saying it. You're just explaining what happened in the worst way imaginable.
Gibbs was able to celebrate his 6th victory of the season. The table has turned because something great happened to Brandon Jones in the final race with Joe Gibbs Racing.
My goodness, what is this editing? All this stuff makes zero sense. From the completely out of place paper background to the text that show up at absolute random with no correlation. And why are all the pictures of the drivers moving like they're being possessed by an Indian snake charmer?
This would be seeming like a loss to GGR right now, but yet they're one of the best that will race now with motorsports from 2023.
In case you haven't noticed, you are not going to get the answer to the question you were asking when you started watching this video. What warning did Brandon Jones give Joe Gibbs Racing? In the entire 8 minutes of this video, spoiler alert, he does not mention it once. Aside of the stuff we've already seen so far in this video, the remaining parts of the video is the following. Jones's current Phoenix stats, recapping Martinsville, JGR's Martinsville stats altogether, Hemrick's 2021 championship race, don't forget to subscribe plugin, the final 4 drivers, with the bot even saying Gibbs' teammates are from Junior Motorsports, or as he likes to call it,
JRR.
The story of how Allgaier beat Allmendinger at Martinsville, another Martinsville recap, an odd recap about the aspect of racing and how it's not door-to-door. It's very confusing.
The most enjoyable aspect of racing is going door-to-door and competing against other drivers. It's not enough to simply smash other people.
Allgaier and Allmendinger's battle once again, another subscriber plugin, talking about a non-existent blowing tire, another recap of who's in the final 4, Gregson's comments to Gibbs, and then finally, a 3rd subscriber plugin in the span of 8 minutes. So the topic in question of what this video was titled about isn't even in this video. And the funny thing is that this video was uploaded after the season finale. So this was already when Gibbs won the championship. So what is even the point of this? It's like he went to that one essay typer site, typed up the title of the topic, got the auto-generated essay, and then put that essay into a text-to-speech bot. That's basically this entire video. And with a very basic and terrible editing template. I swear, all of his videos are like this. Like, these are 3 different videos and they look exactly alike, just with different topics and different pictures and videos over it. And they rack up hundreds of thousands of views at a time. It's obvious that they're bots, but this is absolutely ridiculous. So let's go ahead and move on to another video. This time, let's take a look at NASCAR Off Track. Are they any better? Bad news for Bubba Wallace! This punishment might end his career. Oh no.
Bubba Wallace just cannot catch a break, and although there have been more than 2 weeks since his accident with Kyle Larson, the repercussions just cannot seem to stop. And one huge reason for that is the fact that the accident itself was truly a bizarre one.
It's literally the same thing. It's just another slight recap of what happened in a NASCAR race, extended for 8 minutes.
Although Wallace has apologized for his actions and said that he feels very sorry for how things turned out, that doesn't take away the fact that he is a reckless driver and needs to be dealt with properly. That is exactly what Michael Jordan, the owner of the 2311 racing team, did. But the co-owner Hamlin wasn't really happy about it. Is there trouble in paradise?
Wow, that was a lot to unpack. So apparently Bubba's a reckless driver because he wrecked someone on purpose one time. Like, oh, I guess Jeff Gordon is reckless because he wrecked Clint that one time. Or Kenseth's reckless because he wrecked Logano that one time. And then, of course, the comment about Michael Jordan punishing Bubba. He doesn't do that. NASCAR punished him. And who is Denny mad at? Bubba? Jordan? NASCAR? You're not making any sense. What trouble in paradise is there?
Michael Jordan has decided to punish Bubba Wallace with $1 million for his actions. Yes, a whopping $1 million will be taken away from Bubba due to the fact that he crashed intentionally into Kyle Larson.
Where are you getting this info from? Bubba wasn't fined for anything. He just got a one-race suspension.
Although this has not been made public, insiders say it happened.
Oh, okay. Everything makes perfect sense now. We're working with those types of sources.
My source is that I made it the f*** up.
Various experts and reporters like Kyle Petty called for Wallace's suspension to be applied to the rest of the season. This is something that, according to them, will teach the 2311 racing driver a lesson, rather than the one-race ban that he received for the Miami Motor Speedway.
Kyle Petty saying Bubba should have been suspended for the rest of the season happened before the official suspension was announced. Also, can you tell me the source where it said that Michael and Denny personally fined Bubba $1 million? Because I can't find it anywhere. And the fact you said it wasn't made public, a couple insiders said so, makes me feel like you're making this up for views.
Well, the accident happened in the middle of the fight for drivers to enter the Championship 4 in Vegas. This meant that although Wallace was still part of this fight, his crash into Larson meant that he ruined two drivers' chances to enter the championship fight, and he almost ruined Christopher Bell's chance too.
First of all, Bubba wasn't even in the playoffs to begin with. Second of all, Larson was already eliminated from the playoffs. And third, only Christopher Bell was the one affected by it.
When Hamlin tried to confront Michael Jordan about the penalty, he was told to step out of the building.
Again, where are you getting this information from? Denny's the primary owner of the team. He owns the building.
2311 told me to get out of the building for the next 2 weeks and go concentrate on getting a championship for myself.
Denny did not say that. Again, he's the owner of the team. He can't get kicked out by his own team.
But this isn't the only time that Wallace is losing money because of Kyle Larson. During the 2019 season, Larson accused Bubba Wallace of deliberately spinning and raising a caution flag at the Texas Motor Speedway. The caution directly impacted other drivers, with Larson being one of them. Moreover, Wallace has also accepted that his actions weren't really suitable for that race and that they were deliberate as well. Wallace was fined on the basis of Section 10.8, with him being found guilty of intentionally causing or attempting to cause a caution period.
Yes, this happened, and yes, Bubba was fined for it. But what does this have to do with the Las Vegas incident? That was 3 years ago!
It's not his salary that's the problem, it's the heftiness of the penalty, and it seems like Wallace will reconsider whether or not he will be a part of NASCAR in the future if this penalty sees the light of day.
Where are you getting this info from? He never said that! You're just making stuff up so you could have a clickbaity title to get all those Bubba haters to click on your video!
I totally accepted the penalty and the repercussions that came from my actions. I talked to Steve O'Donnell and I talked to Phelps and I said, hey, I'm good with being the example. If we can keep this consistent moving forward, because it's happened multiple times this year and it's something that may still continue to happen for other drivers down the road. I definitely learned my lesson, but we have to be consistent, no matter if it's here at Martinsville or if it's at Daytona or Talladega. We've got to keep it consistent across all the boards and across all the series. It was a good conversation. It goes without saying that these hopes of Wallace are in vain, and his expectation that everybody will be punished for actually racing the way they should race is just pure fantasy.
Okay, so how does Bubba saying NASCAR's penalty should be consistent regardless on the driver and regardless on the track translate to NASCAR drivers getting penalized for driving the way they do is pure fantasy? Do you just have a single brain cell that bounces around like the DVD icon?
If his rule goes by, then we might have races where there won't even be drivers in the first place, given the fact that everybody will be penalized for, well, actually driving.
What?
Kyle Petty has been really furious with Bubba Wallace and the way he has been acting lately. According to him, the penalty that Wallace received is truly a joke, and he should be handed a penalty that will definitely hurt him and make him think about situations like this again.
Kyle Petty didn't say that. You're just making stuff up and thinking people are too stupid. Alright, you know what? At this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and stop taking this apart bit by bit, because if I do it any farther, my brain is just gonna disintegrate into dust. But I will mention one more thing. This video is actually 7 minutes long. Because for the last minute, it's nothing. No video, no sound, no music. It's just a black screen. But aside from that, it's clear that this guy is definitely a Bubba hater because he's made 10 videos, including this one, about the Las Vegas incident. Not to mention, isn't it weird that these videos gets hundreds of thousands of views, and yet his video on Bubba's win at Kansas doesn't even have 1,000? Makes you think, doesn't it? But yeah, that's pretty much the two biggest NASCAR clickbait channels that currently exist. But the scary thing is, they're not alone, as there are more channels that exist and will exist until this thing comes to a stop. Over the past couple weeks, a couple more different NASCAR clickbait channels have popped up, and just like these channels, are spreading complete nonsense. While they're not as big as NASCAR Zone and NASCAR Off Track, they can easily become big with the help of bots. Because these people don't care about NASCAR news. All they care about is money. And it's honestly terrifying. Because they'll take anything that's currently trending in NASCAR and turn it into an 8-minute video where they barely explain the topic, talk about things that have no correlation compared to the current topic, and with all this low-effort, text-to-speech, basic template garbage that they can pump out dozens of times a week if they want to. And trust me when I say, the two videos we talked about today is the surface. Many of these channels have even gone as far as taking Coy Gibbs' death and turning it into a monetized 8-minute video. Like they see a NASCAR driver's father die the day after his biggest accomplishment so far, and a team owner who loses his son not too long after losing his other son, and all they see are dollar signs. This is J-Station levels of disrespect. And the worst part of all of this, not even what they're saying is true. At the best, they just take a bunch of articles and mash them together. At the worst, they just make up complete nonsense just to get a couple more ad clicks. And if you ask me, I wouldn't be surprised if all these accounts are being run by one person. They have practically identical formats, they're all pretty much talking about the same topics, and each of them has the same low-effort editing and have a text-to-speech bot reading the script. They're practically the same person wearing a fake mustache they bought at the party store. So yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta talk about. If you see any of these channels, do not click on their videos. Do not watch their videos, and if you can, report them. They're a huge smack to the face for the actual content creators that put time and effort to make their content. And also they can make a quick buck. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for right now. If you want to see more about these clickbait accounts, I'd highly recommend watching JetMDK's video talking about them as well. He goes more into depth about a couple other videos and talking about the obvious clickbait titles, and it's a really good video as well. I was about halfway through the script when he uploaded the video, and I just decided to finish it anyways. I mean, it's great to spread some more word about these fake clickbait channels that I'm really ticked off on seeing. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.